Is your marketing directed at the right people? Are you solving the wrong problem and your message isn't landing? Are you speaking correctly to your ideal client? Do you even know who your ideal client is? Do you know where they make buying decisions? Are you on the wrong platform? Are you doing spaghetti marketing where you throw things at the wall to see what sticks?
Hello and welcome back to Envisioning Success. I'm Laura DiBenedetto, joined by the always lovely and incredibly talented Julia Becker-Collins. What's up, Julia?
Hello.
Hello. Hell of an intro, right? Anyway, today we are going to be tackling questions. We get a lot of questions all the time from clients, from prospective clients, former clients. Everybody asks us a lot of critical details. They also ask ChatGPT a lot of questions about marketing. So we've created a 4-episode arc for you that's going to dive into 20 really powerful questions that you're probably dying to know the answer to. So buckle up or get ready to take notes because you're about to get smacked in the face with a lot of truth, and hopefully a lot of things are going to completely set you free and help you to stop suffering, because that sucks. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through 5 questions on this episode, and we're going to really unpack the truth of these for you so you don't have to guess anymore. We're also going to give you a lot of nuance so you can understand not just the answer, but why the answer is the answer, kind of like we do every time. So
Same as we do every day, Pinky.
Okay, there's an inside joke there. Julia, can you tell them what they've won?
Well, because we're both old, very old.
You've impaired.
Because we are well seasoned. One of the jokes that we have is about a cartoon show that was on in the 90s. Was it the 90s? I think it was the early 90s. And it had Pinky and the Brain.
It was Animaniacs, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah. And so for, I don't even know, going on 9 years now, we've had this joke about, what do we do tonight? What are we doing tonight, Pinky? Same thing we do every night, Brain. Try to take over the world. Except that it's always, we change the joke every time and have it be about marketing or leadership or dealing with stupid people, which is,
and sometimes the answer is we punt.
Yep.
So, all right. I like this episode. We were thinking about what to create for this one, and honestly, we get so many different questions, and our episode ideas come from real conversations that we have with people every day. And this one felt like a good one to dive into questions. So the very first question we have for you is, why isn't my marketing bringing in leads? Julia, why don't you take a stab at that? Then I'll weigh in. We'll both weigh in on each one of these 5 questions, and we'll just kind of swing mightily and punt.
Punt, as we do often. Excellent. So this question is kind of a loaded question, and one of my favorite things to say is it depends, which nobody ever wants to hear from a marketer, but is entirely true. So in a previous episode, I forget the number. I know it's shocking that I have forgotten the number of this episode, since I am known for remembering every number of every episode. We talked about the difference between sales and marketing and how they hold hands, but they are not the same thing. And so while your marketing might be trying to bring in leads, it's also, what is your sales team doing? Is your marketing directed at the right people? Are you solving the wrong problem and your message isn't landing? Are you speaking correctly to your ideal client? Do you even know who your ideal client is? Do you know where they make buying decisions? Are you on the wrong platform? Are you doing spaghetti marketing where you throw things at the wall to see what sticks? There are a million reasons. It also could be that you're trying to market a service on a platform that best sells products. And we have seen that in the past. For example, we had a home renovator client who was really convinced that by marketing on Instagram, he would get in hot leads. And while, yes, Instagram's great for that type of client because it's very visual and he's location based, and we did a lot of targeted ads and kind of all of that, that doesn't mean it's going to necessarily lead to a lead. It's going to be more brand building and awareness. And oh my goodness, in a year when I decide I want to renovate my bathroom, I saw that ad, etc. It's a lack of understanding between what happens in marketing and the trajectory, and that marketing is a long game, a long, long, long game,
Mm,
versus the sales side, which is bring in hot lead to the funnel, etc.
right.
Also, not for nothing, a lot of people think that if they're doing marketing, they don't have to do sales. And I I can't with that. I know we've talked about that in a previous episode. But they're not, you can't trade one for the other. You have to do both. We market ourselves. We have this podcast, we have a website, we do social media, we do PR, we have blogs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, to reach our ideal client. And then on top of that, we do sales. So you're looking at the
Right.
sales team right now. But you have to do both.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So here's my take on it. Of course, I agree with everything you just said, but I think that, in probably in like a broad, high level sense, a different take on it would be it could be that you might be solving the wrong problem. Your message isn't landing. Maybe you're speaking to the wrong avatar. The avatar, not the big blue people. We've talked about this in many previous episodes. That it's really your ideal customer. Maybe you're not actually speaking to them, or maybe you're. This is interesting. I've seen this recently. Sometimes people have X for a delivery, but then their Y marketing doesn't align. So you
Mhm.
got some mismessaging. So, if people, I'll give you a great example. I'll pick on myself because I know me really well. Um, my personal brand is fire. Okay. Like I hit people with a lot of truth. I work with people who are unflinching and really ready to step into big stuff.
Yep.
If my marketing soft pedals that, I won't attract the people who actually want to do this work because when they actually meet me, they'll be like, "Oh wow, that's a lot more intense than I thought." Alternatively, if you actually match your product to your marketing and your branding and your positioning and your avatar and all of those things, and you have alignment across the board, people are more eager to get into your pipeline. So I think about this like a funnel. I do love me, some good visuals, but think of a funnel with like four steps to it. The tippity top is, strangers, and then you've got like tepid and warm leads, people who are like, yeah, they kind of know you. Then you've got like your hot leads and then you got your customers, right? If you put a whole ton of strangers into the top of the funnel and they think you're one thing, and then the further they go down the funnel, they discover you're something else that feels like bait and switch, that doesn't work for people, they don't like it. And it also creates brand misalignment. And then they can't get to the customer stage because it hasn't been a contiguous journey of consistency.
Mhm.
And if you can create that and objectively take a look at your marketing and realize, oh, I might be soft pedaling it because I don't want to be offensive, or maybe I'm not showing up um, as soft as I should. Maybe I'm too strong, and maybe my actual delivery is much softer and gentler. All depends on what you do. I mean, I wouldn't want to hire, let's say, a midwife who's anything but soft and gentle. So it
Right.
all depends on what you're selling. But I think you need alignment, you need a contiguous like through line, you need to make sure that you're speaking to the right people. And honestly, when your message actually does land, it's because you have shown people who you truly are, the right people who you truly are from day one. They've seen that consistently, and that's how you get a lead.
Yep. Yep.
Long answer to a short question, but I did promise meat on the bone in this episode.
I was going to say, I feel like every answer is going to be a long answer to a short question.
I will do best to rein it in. These are supposed to be like 20, 25-minute episodes, not
Sure.
45. What's question two, Julia?
Question 2 is, I get this one all the time. Do I really need a website if I'm already active on social media? You want to take this one first, Laura?
Yeah. Um, yes, you do. Um, the reason why is because they function as different things. If you think of social media as a place where you meet and greet people, it's where you engage with them, it's where you talk with them, a little bit of razzle dazzle. It's kind of more of like the party. Um, your website is the house, it's the address, it's the thing that's probably not party and it's all substance. So it's got the gravitas. It has your the things that would be weird to put in social media, like a landing page, that would be weird to put on social media and also very difficult. It would have your case studies and your social proof. It would have your contact page. It would have comprehensive listings of products and services. It would also possibly host your e-commerce and your ability to sell stuff. Social media can't do that. Social media is great because it gets people excited, and its job is to get people to your website. It is not
Mhm.
it is not meant to replace your website.
Mhm. Mhm. The whole point of their marketing in general is to drive people to the website. If you don't have a website, there's no place for people to drive to. It needs to be a thing that you own. In addition to everything that Laura
Right,
said.
and the purpose of the website is to get people to convert and give you money.
Correct.
So don't think that the website is the end of the journey. It's not.
Correct. The other part of this, and we've talked about this previously and we've talked about it on our blogs, is you don't own what's on social media. And
Right.
so if social media, if Facebook goes down and you have a huge active community, say you've done like really hit it out of the park on Facebook, and that's really where your community is. You have a Facebook group, you have a really active page, it's incredibly organic, it's great, you're driving sales on your website. But say Facebook goes down, which it has. Facebook has gone down. Say you're planning a big sale and
And then the
Facebook
world
is
stops turning on its axis and marketers everywhere are
Mhm.
clutching their pearls.
Correct. So what do you have left? So if you don't have a website, you have no driving force that you own. You need to own your marketing.
Yep. Amen to
The other
that.
thing I will say that I get the question all the time is, do you have to have a website? If you have a social media page, do you have to have a website in order to start selling? The beginning of the business. No, you don't have to have a website at the
That's a
beginning.
good distinction. You're right.
You could have a Facebook page. It requires so much momentum to get going. Just start. It doesn't need to be perfect, and then have the website. Don't just not do it, but don't let that be the thing that stops you from starting.
Yeah, exactly. I was recently speaking to someone. Um, this conversation was wild. He's just like, "Oh, well, I really need a website before I can go sell." And I'm like, "Okay, but you need money to pay for that. It doesn't
Hmm.
just create itself. You actually need money. The lifeblood of a company is top line revenue because you can
Right.
solve a lot of problems by throwing money at them, including having a website." But in this gentleman's mind, he was viewing a website as a validator of
Yep.
an area of proof. But it's like, honestly, just get a little bit better at sales and understanding and listening, because if you can do that, you'll realize you could you could sell without ever having a website. Doesn't mean you should, but like, take that to mean that you can start without one. And you can build the
Correct.
parachute after you've already exited the plane and you're just grasping at birds on the way down. Like, you can figure it out. It's
Mhm.
okay.
As soon as you have something that you can sell to somebody, you have the service, you have the product, you can start selling. You don't have to wait for your logo or your trademark or your whatever.
Yep,
Yep.
that's so true. I wish more people knew that. Anyway, the whole world should listen to this episode because we will set them free and help them to stop their suffering. All right, question 3 is, this one's a humdinger. Can't I just use templates for everything? We both die on the inside as this
I
comes out of
know.
my mouth.
I was
Ah,
going to say,
no.
if you're watching on YouTube, you just saw my eyes roll back into my head and I
Huh.
had like a whole moment. I get this question all the time from well-established businesses, from brand new businesses, from solopreneurs, from enterprise level companies that are trying to figure out what to do about their marketing because their sales force requires some buttressing. I don't, a million different reasons. Um, Buttressing, it's a good word. It's one of my favorites. Um, the problem with using templates is that they're, plug and play, and you're going to sound like everyone else. If you use things that are built for the general public, if you're using something that anybody can use, then you're going to sound like anybody and you're not distinguishing yourself, like we've been talking about, trying to reach that ideal client. You want to convert people that really see themselves in your brand, like Laura was saying earlier about communicating her fire personal brand and her consulting brand and bringing in the right people and not people that are going to get scared off if she used templates for everything. Then she's going to get milquetoast people who are terrified of her, and that's not going to work. So, you know, not only are you going to sound like everybody, you're just not going to convert at all or really the correct anything. You need to put the work in to get the, profit on the other side. When they always say takes money to make money, like this is one of those instances, whether you pay somebody else to do it or you put the time into it, you need to actually work at this. This isn't something that's, like we always say, don't use plug and play solutions. They don't work.
Yeah, no, they definitely don't. Probably a little thing that I would add to this one is I spend a decent amount of time on LinkedIn just because that's where my primary audience is. And oh my God, people will not shut up about AI and Chat GPT. It is now taboo to use the damn M dash or anything that might suggest that you used AI. What's the lesson here? People are all about use AI, but don't let it show because they still want that spark of originality, spark of it not being a template. So just by virtue of the arguments and the debates and all the trending posts on LinkedIn, you can tell the evidence of what I'm telling you. People don't want template. They don't want something that was just cookie cutter. People still value originality, even if they don't necessarily know how to create it. That's why you hire people to do stuff who are old and youth impaired and they actually know how to do stuff because they were forged in fire, like me and Julia. You should see our walkers with the tennis balls. They're very nice.
And you joke about that, but I do have a walker in the basement.
Stop it.
It's from when my husband broke his ankle. So.
Did he have the tennis balls on it?
Yeah, because it was his grandfather's.
Aw. That's so great.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, anyway, there is definitely value in this emerging term of organic intelligence, of an actual human being that knows how to actually do the thing correctly, because they've had to walk through the seventh circle of hell to figure it out, versus having AI give you the average of average and hoping that you don't know the difference. I'm telling you right now, I don't think templates are a great idea. If anything, they can be a really useful starting point, but they're by no means an endpoint.
Correct. I would agree with you. So first, I want to say that as a total grammar nerd, I am so frustrated with this whole like anti-M dash thing. And I could spend 30 minutes talking about that because I have spent my career being like M dashes are this and N dashes are this. And I just literally yesterday had a conversation with somebody on our staff about how he and I are both so frustrated with how people now think if you have an M dash, that means AI wrote it. But those of us that have been doing this a really long time use M dashes, and now everyone thinks that we're not writing our own content. So I'm going to get off my grammar high horse. And
you know why that's happening, though? It's because ChatGPT abuses the shit out of the M dash, and it uses like in 3 sentences, it will use them in 2 of them. It uses a lot of the same writing devices, triplicate arguments. It does use the Oxford comma. I love that. So this, what else to me?
It's also that the general public doesn't know the difference between an M dash and an N dash. And so when you start seeing it all over the place, that means they didn't write it. Because most people
don't use it.
Most people don't use it.
N dash is the short one, right?
N dash is short. M dash is longer. The way that you can remember it is that an M dash is the length of the letter M, and an N dash is the length of the letter N.
I have always used the N dash. I don't think I've ever used the M dash. It doesn't necessarily have no value, but I think the thing that probably just goes right up my ass sideways is the fact that there's no space before and after the M dash, which I find deeply offensive to my soul. I'm like, no, I won't participate in something that looks stupid. Which is the same reason why I will rephrase a sentence entirely if I can't spell the damn word I wanted.
That's fair. I get that. That's kind of like how one of my picadillos is like fewer versus less than, and when people use the wrong version. But again, most people use it incorrectly. So when you start using ChatGPT and everyone starts using it correctly, it's obvious that you're not writing it yourself.
No.
I
You
could
ever see
I
that
could
funny
do this.
joke of like, oh, I'm gonna have some somebody posted this, oh, I'm gonna make some or have some synonym rolls, and then somebody in the comments is like, yeah, just the way grandma used to make.
Oh my god, I saw that. So funny. I can't.
And then the
It
whole let's eat grandma or let's eat comma grandma, you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
punctuation saves lives.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, if we
I love
haven't
all of that.
revealed ourselves to be nerds until today, welcome to the nerd party. Uh,
Seriously.
yeah, now everybody knows our secret.
Grammar nerds unite.
Okay.
Literally.
Question 4 is what is the biggest waste of money in marketing?
Oh, I mean, I could go on a tangent here about what the biggest waste of money in marketing is, but to be specific, it's most of the time it's buying attention. So you're spending money on something without clarifying who you're trying to reach, what you're doing, who it's meant for, etc. So advertising, which is the paid portion of marketing, advertising is where you pay for space. It could be on social media, it could be on radio, it could be anywhere, but it's where you're putting hard dollars behind something to get space in front of eyeballs. Advertising are not going to, it's not going to fix a bad, copyright. It's not going to fix a bad offer. It's not going to fix bad graphic design. It's not going to fix using a template. For example, if you spend time on Instagram, like I tragically spend so much time on Instagram, as I say, I'm chronically online, that there's a lot of people that buy Instagram ads and don't realize that they're also buying an ad for a story. And then you see their story ad and it's a dog with a link and I have no idea what the brand does. And now you have spent money on me seeing that and I have no idea what I'm seeing. It's so frustrating.
All the time.
I
do not love that.
No.
Yeah. One thing that we get requests for that we consistently deny is, oh, hey, we need to start getting more likes.
Yeah.
You're chasing the wrong metric.
Yes.
I mean, it's a different version of the same thing, but like paying to promote something that isn't clear, that's what she's talking about. What I'm talking about is paying for the wrong metric. Likes don't mean money. A novice business owner will make this mistake pretty often, and a novice marketer would say, sure, I can help you with that, because they're just excited to make a sale instead of valiantly pushing back and be like, no, that's not a great idea. Don't do that because you're chasing the wrong metric. You should be trying to convert and actually bring dollars in, because top line revenue can solve a lot of problems.
Well, it's like we talked about in a previous episode about vanity metrics, which is a great term. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many likes you get. It matters how many things you sell. So if we're using an example from our own marketing, if you look at the numbers behind the scenes, what's converting for us is vastly different than how many likes we're getting. So one of our best performing platforms for engagement is Facebook. We have high levels of engagement on Facebook, likes, etc. People, enjoying what they're seeing, versus LinkedIn. We don't have high engagement. We have a lot of click through. So, we put it out there because it's all really good and helpful. Especially, we could have a whole separate conversation about how Facebook affects your SEO and your organic SEO. So it's important to be there. But you also need to look under the hood and see what's working.
Absolutely. So here's the very last question for today. And I'm going to keep my answer really, really short. And Julia, I feel like you can do the same. The final question is, isn't marketing just common sense? No, it's not. Marketing is psychology. It is human behavior. It is positioning. It is construction of desired pathways. It is so much. It is the opposite of common sense. There's a whole reason why folks like me have jobs, and there's a reason why folks like Julia have jobs. It's because this is actually hard. And if you want to do it well, don't assume it's easy.
Yep, absolutely. And the other part of that is what works for somebody else isn't going to necessarily work for you.
Amen. Well, hats off to us. See, we do have the ability to be concise. Good job. Pat myself on the back. All right. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We're super excited that you're here. Next episode is going to be diving into a couple more, and this is going to be really talking more about like what you should be posting and why it's not working. So you'll definitely want to pay attention to that. Loving reminder, we are always here to help you. If you want some help with your marketing, if you're tired of swinging and missing, this is where Vision can help you. We're celebrating 25 amazing years. I am super proud of this. Julia has been a wonderful part of this journey, and we love helping people to put marketing on easy mode so you can just pay attention to growing your business like you're supposed to. So if you want some help with this, check us out at vision-advertising.com. We would love to support you. We don't do high pressure. That is disgusting. So if you want to talk to us and just ask a few questions, no problem. If you want us to do a deeper dive, no problem there as well. You ask, you shall receive. Anyway, we'll see you in the next episode, and I'll bless you a wonderful day. See ya.